Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining. I would like to introduce the speaker of today's webinar, Mr. Nilesh Desai. He is founder and CEO of SMEA Analytics, and he is an MSME expert and is the author of the book, The Unexplored Gold Mine, The Opportunities in the Revival of the MSMEs. Mr. Desai has widespread knowledge in MSMEs, and he is working towards increasing the operational efficiency of the MSME units. He is fond of writing daily newsletter to spread awareness about the MSMEs world. Mr. Desai has a vast experience, 41 years in the engineering industry. He is a member in various committees and represents the interest of MSMEs. He has traveled extensively and has business association in Australia. Recently, we had a seminar in Balavikas Kendra where Mr. UK Deputy High Commissioner Dr. Andrew Fleming has visited, and he has admired Mr. Desai sir and for writing his book on unexplored gold mine and appreciated for the same. I request Mr. Desai sir to continue the webinar. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Gayatri, for introduction. Hello. Next slide, please. Today, today's webinar is going to be on FOF versus FOMO. So most of the people, we have not given an explanation what is FOF and FOMO. So FOF stands for fear of failure, while FOMO stands for fear of missing out. The above topic of fear of failure and fear of missing out is about behavioral characteristics of any human being. A young child of 3 years also will be working in whether he will get this or he will not get this, and he is also trying to work on if he does not get, what happens, fear of missing out or fear of failure. If he tries, suppose a mango is hanging at a low this thing, so he has got a fear whether he will fall down to catch that, or if he does not, somebody else will take that mango in a mango garden. So this is a behavioral problem for every human being, but our webinar is related to MSME, hence I will describe Indian MSME scenario. Today, with the change in definition of MSME, which includes retail and wholesale, also number of MSME units is approximately 14.5 crores. See, before this announcement of a change in definition, there was talk about 6.5 crore MSME, and if we add retail and wholesale and go up to 250 crore turnover, 14.5 crore should be the total number of MSME units in India. But as nobody has got concrete data on this, so we are going with some simple addition of 6.5 plus 8.8 crores. So it may be disputable. With government's focus on promoting MSME enterprise by providing Mundra loan, PMEGS, food processing at district level, ODOP, that is one district, one product, 7 to 10% growth year on year for next 5 years can be predicted. That means every year we'll be adding roughly 1.4 crore unit to the portfolio of MSME. Our PM announced Udyomi Bharat on 30/6/2022 and introduced 2 more schemes, RAMP and for the first time exporter. Also has increased the limit of PMEG from 25 lakhs to 50 lakhs. So these are the changes, and government is alert to change as per the requirement of changing dynamics in economy, including inflation and value of goods and all that. So they are very alert and doing continuous, taking continuous steps. MSME, see the advantage of MSME sector is creating employment at low capital cost per job. It indicates 14.5 crore and above entrepreneurs. So if we have got 14.5 crore existing MSME unit, if we are able to create 0.25 job per unit, we will be able to create 3 to 4 crore low skill jobs, which will help India to add 1.5% to its GDP at $3 trillion economy. MSME sector, this webinar will bring out two specific behavioral characteristics of entrepreneur. Fear of failure and fear of missing out. Next, please. Next, please. So let us discuss about FOF, that is fear of failure. Before I move further, I would like to describe the characteristics of an entrepreneur. One of the characteristics of entrepreneur is the courage to dare and not be afraid of failure. This is very critical. The desire to succeed and yet the readiness to cope up with challenges is the basis of entrepreneur on his path to success. All MSME entrepreneurs have gone through this from March 2020 when Corona broke out, and still he has to continuously face the challenges of surviving and growing. But additional fuel to the fire was added by the geopolitical conflict. Now, everybody knows Elon Musk. Today, he is trying to withdraw from Twitter deal of $44 billion. So, Elon Musk famously said, if things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. So, failure is a step for innovating new ideas. And Elon Musk is success in EV cars, in space, and his bid to Twitter is an indication that how much risk he is ready to take and how much experimentation he is doing with his innovative idea. He is also working in number of other fields, but I will restrict it here. Then gay provisor faith. An entrepreneur must go with his faith, with his instinct, and have to worry as soon as everyone agrees with him. So what he says, if everyone is agreeing, there is something basically wrong in your idea. If they are giving some suggestions, some improvement, some changes, that should give you fuel for thought. Entrepreneurship is to create something new in a place that it was not. See, a few years back, maybe 2 decades back, one Mr. Engineer has come out with a ceasefire kind of fire extinguisher, and it has become a highly successful product at that time, because he is trying to create a fear psychosis in everybody's mind that if fire happens, I can be saved. If everyone thinks you are doing the right thing, you are not inventing anything new. That is what is a big challenge. So that is why you shouldn't imitate someone else. If you have the feeling, faith and vision that this is what you want to do, you must do it. No matter how many times you fail on the way, go for it until the end. People who are waiting to be entrepreneurs are not really entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs jump into the water. See, yesterday I was in a seminar, and see, when OYO, Ritesh Agrawal, could not have worked on the aggregator model of hotel room, will we hear anytime who is Ritesh Agrawal or this Swiggy and Zomato, hundreds of years, there are hotels, there are restaurants, everything. What they have done, innovated, is to collect the food from some nearby restaurant, whatever is ordered by, and deliver. They have created a multi-billion dollar empire. So if they would have thought, they have used a lot of technology and everything, but the basic idea is to become aggregator of two services and understanding pain point of the customer. As our society is becoming their disposable incomes are increasing. So that is why the comfort level they need is increasing. And that is the area where many entrepreneurs have come. IRCTC is one example where railway ticket booking or online passenger booking for bus or for plane also has made many new things to come up. Amazon, Flipkart, and more e-commerce sites, including some sites are giving specific services like you can say artisans job, artisans whatever they are producing, or farmer what they are producing, so that middlemen may be reduced, and D2C, that is direct to customer enterprise, are increasing. Next, please. Fear of failure is an anticipated scenario analysis which entrepreneur does from his early knowledge based on the prevailing situation. Every human acquires the knowledge from the day he gets a birth, and every situation, whatever comes along, he tries to analyze with the available knowledge and possible scenario analysis. And he many times gets perturbed of fear of failure. This is why challenge for every human, and more particularly many entrepreneurs who are damn conservative, but then their growth rate will be suffering. If he has succeeded in the past because of awareness of his decision, he reduced experimentation capacity because possible fear of failure, and because of this syndrome, his team also moves in that direction. Suppose an entrepreneur himself starts having a fear of failure, his team also will pick up, and then they will go in more negative signs, and it is a responsibility of entrepreneur to avoid fear of failure. It does not mean that every fear is wrong, but he has to analyze the available knowledge in the organization and the future benefit, that is risk cost to risk benefit analysis. Success is the goal of every entrepreneur, but alongside the chances of success, there is a tolerance for failure. Every effort what you put may not be coming successful. There will be a failure. Like say, when I was an entrepreneur, I would like to write a book on about 100 and 200 reasons why our employees does not come on time, and they give various reasons. But then that is you can take the reasons and understand the psychology of employees similar, and take calculated risk. How many people will be on leave on particular days, depending on the size of your organization. This is one of the fear every entrepreneur faces, small scale industry faces when he comes to his office. How many people are on leave, or how many they are not informed workers. This is a very big challenge. With 14.5 crore entrepreneurs in India has shown the path of entrepreneurship in depth. And in the 5,000 years of Indian civilization, there are many examples of bankruptcy. But with internet and social media, along with Y2K problem, Indian entrepreneurs has matured, and at last count, more than 100 unicorns are there, and now new word is coined as Sunicorn, indicating that there are candidates for becoming a unicorn in a small time. So this is a change which is happening. Again, 64,000 approximately registered startup in India. People say 80% fails, but I will say 80% has failed, has made the entrepreneurship mature, and out of that failed one, 80%, 20 to 30% will come out with a better product portfolio in their next venture. See, if you recently the problem with MD of a phone pay type of company, Bharat Pay, now they are struggling to get the MD post back, but still they have started sounding investors for that next venture. So no entrepreneur keeps quiet. Once entrepreneur, he will be entrepreneur practically forever, unless until his age, his family circumstances, his friend circle pulls him down or make him more negative oriented. Otherwise, entrepreneur is practically entrepreneur for life, and has created ecosystem of angel investors, early seed funders to private equity players and incubator accelerator. Thus, the ecosystem has matured for startup world. This is a good proverb, or there is a good saying. There is only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve, is the fear of failure. See, this is, if you as an entrepreneur, you have got a dream which is making you to become entrepreneur. The impossible thing is that fear of failure. मैं नहीं कर सकता हूँ, ये नहीं हो सकता है. That kind of negative things makes him to fail. Next, please. Next slide. If the fear of failure would have ruled the entrepreneurial ecosystem, we could not have become startup country as we are today. We rank third or fourth in the world in startup ecosystem. See, India has to be proud because of demographic dividend, because of higher level of education, educated people, and common sense is getting them to come to entrepreneurship, and more particularly tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities are generating more startup ideas which will make them to come for future leadership roles in their ventures. Hyderabad has created largest incubator in the world known as T-Hub. Recently, our Chief Minister inaugurated a new facility, second building, which can house about 2,000 entrepreneurs or startups and give them an integrated facility of mentoring, funding, technology, various things, including incubation facility, where the idea can be matured, developed, discussed with experienced entrepreneurs of other field, or angel investor who can screen your idea, give suggestions so that you can improve your product or services to the customer better. Now, this is a graph shows entrepreneurs in innocence because of lack of knowledge and lack of understanding of the challenge is expected in realizing the idea of the venture. See, if you take vertical, the courage to dare and try, as the knowledge increases, knowledge in the field. As knowledge increases, his fear is higher, and it goes on. If the knowledge is lower, then he is coming down. It can be many entrepreneurs who are facing this path, and that is why knowledge is becoming a criteria for your success. Luckily, with the help of internet, a lot of knowledge is available. It shows clear and entrepreneurs to break through where others don't dare. With a lot of information on any topic available in Google, and with use of YouTube, you can expand your knowledge. Next, please. You can expand your knowledge. Recently I met somebody, he says, there's a new university known as YouTube University. So on any topic, if you find out, you get lot of videos, lot of this thing. Google also gives it, and it's a question how you to validate, evaluate your idea into a possible venture. That is where you can always take help of internet in a big way. How fear helps or hurts entrepreneur. This is again a new challenge. Not all fear are created equal. The fear in two people for same thing, are not equal. Say, suppose a lion all of a sudden comes. One fellow may try to run, or one fellow may stand and try to fight. The fear of lion is real, but how the entrepreneur or how the person behaves, the source of fear is also important. In the case which I have mentioned, lion is a source of fear. Now, various research done for fear of failure have identified 7 sources of fear. See, research, financial security. Many are middle class or middle class people are passing through the path of financial security. Ability to fund the venture, personal ability, self-esteem, traits to social esteem. Suppose if I do this, what will be effect on my social ecosystem? That fear also is one which is critical. The venture's ability to execute. The other way you can say entrepreneur's ability to execute. There may be some real dreamers, but they may not be good executors. And there may be some good executors, but they don't have a dream. So the team formation is very critical, where mix of dreamer and executor are balanced finely. And opportunity cost. There are many times when we feel the cost of opportunity. If you are going for a job interview, all of a sudden it rains, and you take a call. No, I'll go to the interview. You may lose. So it is your this thing, whether it is raining, can I take Ola, Uber or auto and reach to the venue? See, this is a cost of opportunity, you may get that job. So similarly, customers call also. Some customers have got habit to call you on Sunday. Sunday you think normally maybe holiday, and they may not have time, so they call you on Sunday thinking that Sunday they may be closed, so there may be wrong information. The cost of opportunity, you may lose a big contract. So be alert and weigh your opportunity cost always, every second in entrepreneur's life. This is to be evaluated continuously, because opportunity keep coming. Next, please. 4 strategies that enable entrepreneur to ensure that fear of failure work positively. this is for everybody's good. Emotional self-monitoring and control. See, most of the entrepreneurs or humans' emotion can be trained if we are becoming conscious that this is my weakness. Can I correct it? Like in my case, I get angry fast when uh, things are not working out properly or not understood. Can I improve on it? Yes, I can, but there should be opposite side also should align with me to improve. Otherwise, same mistakes and same will come back. Problem solving. See, we should be able to find out the problem and the alternatives to solve. Learning. Learning is a continuous thing for any human. Otherwise, today, the way technologies are getting developed, um, you will be left far behind. And yesterday's webinar, yesterday's full day seminar of Bankable Business Summit, all these points were discussed to encourage younger entrepreneurs not to make mistakes and still have a big leap of faith. Seeking support. There is nothing wrong when you seek support, and support may not be only financial. It can be मेरे साथ में चलना थोड़ा, मेरे को ये बताना that थोड़ा, नहीं तो help me, you be a good listener also is a good support, because you don't get to crystallize your ideas. You may be confused, and when you talk to somebody, and if he's a good listener, your own thought process gets scrutinized and get aligned. So seeking support also reduces your fear of failure. Next, please. Now, fear of missing out. This is again, any entrepreneur continuously goes through this, and this will be covering that part of it. Entrepreneur, in his pursuit to maximize his goal, is continuous in search of opportunities, and in the process he loses his sight from his main goal and he does not reach anywhere. See, any entrepreneur or any human, yesterday in the Bankable Business Summit, critical point was discussed is purpose. And many of us, without defining the purpose, नौकरी करनी है, क्यों खाना खाना है? Is it the purpose? Is it the purpose? Or you want to learn, that is why you do naukri, or you want to become entrepreneur because you want to create wealth for a nation, or you want to give better quality of education to your children. All that purpose has to be very, very clearly defined, and purpose can be dynamic, but ultimate goal should be clear. The methods of getting that may change. Next, please. After invent of internet and social media, the syndrome of FOMO is much talked about behavioral phenomenon. Let us define FOMO. Generally, all entrepreneurs think that they shouldn't miss out any opportunities that could have changed their lives. So any opportunity which comes on your way, is it necessary to take all the opportunity which comes, whether you can execute, whether you can devote quality time on making that opportunity success, whether it is falling in line with your goal, all that is, every opportunity has to be evolved on these parameters and many more. The opportunity can be an idea on investor or anything matter to launching or growing the business. In many startups, investors, more particularly angel, can rush to you, and they may ask you unrealistic share in equity. Now it is up to you to decide, and then whether you should give or not. or and then that kind of investors you can always reject. So you can always reject and concentrate on your developing your product or services which you are doing. There are many cases in Indian mm, uh, ecosystem where investors come with bag full of money, and a valuation which they have not thought. Is it necessary to accept? Because they may ask unreasonable terms like they want to come on board of directors or control your operations. Definitely they bring a lot of other factors, but as an entrepreneur, would you like to reduce your control on the company for which you have worked or idea you have worked for maybe many years or many months, or you have had sleepless nights? See, that is where the challenge comes, and you will have to evaluate and work out what is best for your goal. An entrepreneur, you should accept the entrepreneurship is all about success, failure, and missed opportunities. Many failure will come in your way as an entrepreneur, and you may miss many opportunities. It is good to be ambitious and seek opportunities, but don't let this become an obsession. You see, there is nothing wrong to become ambitious. You can think, because entrepreneurs' other quality is to dream big. If they don't dream big, they don't become ambitious, and the many failures or many they may feel every opportunity comes in my way, I should explore. So this is where the fear of missing out, more particularly with a social media event, you get everybody news. She has dressed better than me. Can I get that? Can I do this? That social media is changing your behavior as a human, and more particularly as an entrepreneur. Next, please. Sometimes it is better to turn down an opportunity. Many times it is better short evaluation and rejecting rather than accepting, or all opportunity on face of it, if it is not falling with your purpose, goal, or your current strength of your organization, you should turn down the opportunity, because there is no dearth of opportunity if you stick to your core competency plus minus little bit. But diverting from your core competency, you are heading for a problem. You have to take the leap of faith and learn to say no. Kenny Nugam advises his peers to focus on right opportunity, not every opportunity. That is what I have said earlier also. Right opportunity, not every opportunity. Many times we see in the news that tanker carrying petrol or diesel, they developed a snack, and a petrol or diesel is going on the road. People jump with that whatever is available to get that petrol or diesel. They do not think the risk, if that holds a little fire, what will happen to them. So it is better to focus on right opportunity, not every opportunity. Petrol is very costly, but against the risk of your life, would you like? There is an old saying, slow and steady wins the race. So please come out of the FOMO. It is advisable to take small steps and begin your journey for bigger success. FOMO in entrepreneurship is as good as long as it does not make you depressed, stressful, or restless. See, if you have taken some steps which may, and you are not able to achieve, it may make you depressed, stressful, or restless. It can have a serious impact on our mental and physical well-being. This is very critical. We are surviving, or we are staying, we are entrepreneur to become mentally strong and physically strong so that our venture gets success in shortest possible time. Next, please. Before I deal with, let me explain shiny object syndrome. This is very critical. Shiny object syndrome. Shiny object syndrome is the tendency to continuously chase new trends, new opportunities, and new ideas without evaluating their benefits first. As a married man, मेरे को हमेशा दूसरे की बीवी अच्छी लगती थी, मेरी बीवी अच्छी नहीं लगती थी. That is a shiny object syndrome. और उसके पास ये है, I try to compare कि इसके पास Impala है, कि इसके पास Audi है, and I have got only aura. That makes me depressed. So I should not try to compare myself with somebody's possession, maybe of equal caliber, but I should work on what I can do for best for myself and my organization. Next, please. How to deal with fear of missing out as an entrepreneur? This is very critical. Following are few points to ponder. I don't say this is an exclusive this thing, but you can ponder on this thing. Do something you are good at. So this is very difficult for many human also. What they are good at. Limit social media usage, because social media, she has got Dinah Trace and this what is that, dolls and Barbie dolls and things like that. So limit social media usage does not mean that you should not upgrade technologically or be management wise, but it should not make you nervous, and you should scale down or accept what is adaptable in my organization. Social media is one of the biggest things that causes FOMO or shiny object syndrome. Else, a lot of information come out of social media, and entrepreneurs continuously trying to search out new opportunity. This can be a source of distraction. There is already another time. There is always another time. If you have lost some opportunity today, it will come in a bigger way tomorrow. No opportunity is getting lost. See, what we are trying to do last 5 years, 4 years, developing a software tool known as Babaji, that is business analytics, business augmentation, growth information system, where we are trying to promote analytical analysis of balance sheet, which general entrepreneur, as I said, 14.5 crore entrepreneurs, 99% they are not aware what their balance sheet teaches. Yesterday in that summit of bankable business summit, I asked how much is the asset created in MSME sector from 1969, and one of my colleagues laughed at 1969. I'm stuck to, but he has not understood that is the place where India has opened up MSME and agriculture sector by directional lending, and I cannot change history. Every opportunity has not to be pursued, otherwise you will be missing your core strength where you can grow your enterprise. Growing your enterprise is your first priority. Next, please. Millennials, entrepreneurs have grown with overburden of choice of internet. Millennials is that you can say people born out of born after 2000. they are generally known as millennials, and because of their education, their exposure to world through various social media, they have grown with overburden of choice of internet and social media, and they do want to encase all the opportunity, which generally will not be because of shortage of various resources, including their short-term and long-term goals. Again and again, I am saying goals, here it is more defined, short and long. In interview with Fortune, Steve Jobs, I think everybody knows Steve Jobs as Apple founder, had said, people think focus means saying yes to the things you have got to focus on. People think focus means saying yes to the things you have got to focus on. But that is not what it means at all. It means saying no to hundreds other good ideas that there are. You pick very carefully. It is smarter to let several different opportunities with greatest potential to leave that. When entrepreneurs eliminate distractions and focus solely on their primary goals, they become far more likely to turn those dreams into reality. As earlier also said, dreams is the source of your aspiration continuously. Next, please. How millennial entrepreneurs can beat FOMO? Focus starts at home. Young business owners can become so eager to see their startup succeed that they sometimes make poor financial decisions in their personal life to keep their companies afloat. So what does it mean? That many times younger entrepreneurs, they may be depending on their parents, they don't withdraw the money as their salaries from that companies, and they make, my money is there, I can withdraw anytime. That is one of the deepest mistake any entrepreneur can do. They should separate out their personal life with enterprise life. Downtime is not all bad. Entrepreneurs pride themselves on their long hours, and loose sleep does not guarantee the success. Research shows after 55 hours of work per week, the productivity drops considerably. Big opportunity deserve big investment. Maintain a sharp focus by dedicating everything to the pursuit of single goal. If the opportunity is big enough, you won't feel any FOMO at all. Only an insatisfiable desire to succeed will be making you to run for greater success. Next, please. So that brings me to the end of my presentation. And see, we at SMEA Analytics do various things, including mentoring. Babaji have already mentioned, and our this is a premium model, and our idea is to develop that score for MSME to manage insolvency risk and also to reduce rate of growth of NPA in banking sector. Next, please. Recently, with a colleague on this thing, we have started the service known as MPulse, where we measure soft skill and hard skill of workers every quarter and give the report. And our experiment with 2 or 3 entrepreneurs where they have paid the service charges for 1 year in advance, and my colleague is able to show the strong benefit, and we have made a video where that entrepreneur says with this this thing he can increase his productivity by 25%, and when we go after 3 months, and that's a report if we give, he is confident that it will help them to increase his productivity by 50%. But I am happy if 5 to 10% improvement in productivity of workforce comes, like Toyota production system will create, will create a profit in your balance sheet without much stress on your expenses. Next, please. We have been certified, we have been awarded by HICIA for one of the top hottest 10 startup in Hyderabad at 29th annual MSME HICIA Innovation Summit and Awards. We have been selected by Microsoft for Founders Hub program. Thank you, Microsoft. Next, please. Next. Yesterday, I have given a talk on operational efficiency in Bankable Business Summit event on 8/7/22, and we got this memento. We are getting award by Father Anthony, and Sandeep is also there with us. Let us be fast. Next, please. I am a permanent resident of Australia and also citizen of India. I am ready to offer my service as a director for Australian companies who want to expand in India. Similarly, I am ready to offer my service for Indian companies expand in Australia. I travel regularly to Australia. Next, please. My next webinar will be on balanced scorecard. Many of us who are participating or MSME entrepreneurs may not have heard this word, balanced scorecard. They may have heard business model canvas, but the next seminar will be balanced scorecard. This will help you to expand your thinking and correct this thing. So please participate in large number. It is on 16/7 at 4 p.m. Next, please. This is my YouTube coordinate, and request everybody to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get my all earlier videos and this thing. More particularly, we have explained by animated video. We have tried to create animated video for understanding the balance sheet in a different cartoon way, so that you can understand. These are my social media coordinate. Next, please. Now floor is open for question answers. Be fast now.
Thank you, sir. The first question from Mr. Vijay. Does fear of failure comes first or fear of missing out?
Very, very good question. See, every entrepreneur, rather I will say every human, passes through this every moment. So it is very difficult. It depends on the scenario analysis capacity of that particular person at that particular moment. And he has to balance between fear of missing out or fear of fear of failure. See, when you are going to railway station and wanting to buy a ticket and catch a train, if train starts, now you are in trouble. You have got a fear whether I will be able to catch. And if you make little effort, there is a possibility you can catch the train running nearer to the train, and somebody can help you to pull you inside the train. So the fear of missing out and fear of failure is everywhere. Next, please.
Another question is, Elon Musk can tell these things since he have huge financial reserves, but somebody with little financial reserves, how to handle fear of failure?
But Elon Musk was also an entrepreneur like us. He has failed when he has developed his first electrical vehicle, and he has sold, and he got feedback, improved, sold again, second one, third one. He was not born in a day. And please understand, when you have got a business idea, finance requirement is 7th or 8th in your priority. Getting your clarity on the execution side of the project may require 1 or 2 ball pens and few blank paper, or if you are computer savvy, you can put all this data on computer, mull over, and you try to work out a scenario. Funding is a last requirement, and funding is required, but it is a last requirement or last but clarity of thought is the first thing which any entrepreneur should have it. Next, please.
Another question is how to handle fear of failure and fear of success, because fear of success where I can't imagine myself very successful because of my self-image.
See, as one of the things, emotional this thing. So please try to write down your own diary, if possible, every day. And when you start writing a diary, you are talking to yourself, which gives you an opportunity to analyze your thought process. And it makes you stronger if you are able to argue while your mind is thinking something and your pen is not working. That is the grace area where you have to seriously think. Success will definitely come if you get over these 4 things. Emotional, this thing, take support, learn. 4 things I have suggested, and that is the master success formula for any entrepreneur. Purpose of your goal or purpose should be very, very, very clearly defined, short term and medium term and long term. Next, please. Thank you.
Sir, what are requirements for incubation center in engineering college to enrich startup? Dr. P. Tirumala.
Thank you, Doctor. Sir, incubation center government has come out with various schemes which you are well aware. See, one of my good friend, Divya Jyoti Mohanty, is my virtual friend. We had a discussion. Incubation center, your students should have come out with an idea. When I was studying engineering and being a metallurgical engineer, my guide told me to work out on pelletization of bentonite. That was not known. So he helped me to go to IIT Mumbai. This has happened 45 years, 48 or 49 years back. To IIT Bombay, I went and studied, and he guided me. So incubation center depends on your students' capability to put hard work. And you can get always, and I am also looking for somebody who can help me to develop Z-score because of my age and not knowing technology. To develop Z-score, I am looking for support from artificial intelligence, machine learning, and algorithm, which people like you can help me to develop. Z-score is a need for today's MSME in India. I am ready to talk to you, sir. My number also is available on my website. You can note down 98853 26553, or I'll ask my people to send you after this webinar. Next, please.
Question from Mr. Vijay. What is your fear of failure when you are managing your startup, and is it same in other startups?
Sir, fear of failure is same everywhere. It has no different color. It's a question of putting the dimensions. And see, Silicon Valley, because you are talking about startup ecosystem, Silicon Valley, if a failed entrepreneur is there, he gets more funding because he knows at least if I go to this way, I am going to fail. So next venture, he will avoid that. So don't be afraid of fear of failure. Do analysis, question your capabilities, stretch your imagination, take support, go to incubation center, go to your friends and relatives, discuss with them, let them come out with X number of things, and moreover that, see, many times our society, there are more leg pullers than supporters, but we love to identify and who can support us. We should talk to them. Incubation centers, accelerators, everywhere you can get a proper support. I hope I answered your question. Next, please.
Another question from Srinivas. Failure entrepreneur facing so many problems in India. No mechanism is cushioning to entrepreneur.
Sir, you are right. That is why I am advocating that equity kind of crowdfunding has to be promoted. We have got charity type of crowdfunding. We have got product advance financing crowdfunding, but we do not have a mechanism for equity kind of finances. Day before yesterday, business line has given Lokeshwari, she has written and she is advocating. The files are pending in government, SMEA, RBI from for about 1 or 2 decades. And in Singapore, in America, equity kind of crowdfunding kind of thing can come up. The chances of failure or funding for failed entrepreneurs can increase considerably. Because in MSME sector, chief unit, that entrepreneur has created a lot of intangible assets which can be converted with little kind of equity support. And I have written a book on that, as Gayatri said earlier in my introduction, Unexplored Gold Mine, Revival of Sikh MSME Unit. With my own experience, I can say that government should consider equity kind of crowdfunding as soon as possible. See, SPAC and other things are coming up. Still, we are discussing on SPAC because SPAC is a recent phenomena of 3, 4, 5 years. But equity kind of crowdfunding is existing in foreign countries for decades. So that is my suggestion. Next, please.
Sir, Mr. Sudhakar Reddy. Failure is part and partial of success. Is it not good to learn from others?
Sudhakar Reddy sir, namaskar. See, observation and learning from others should be a continuous process, not only for failed entrepreneur, for every entrepreneur. See, as you are trying to advocate various methods of agriculture productivity, I am promoting the same thing in MSME. We are in a 2 different spheres, but working on the same goal. Thank you for asking this question, sir. Next, please.
Another question is how to learn say no because to avoid in the context of fear of missing out, and how to handle fear of failure after a serial of failure in life.
Sir, see, it is better to say no first time. There may be consequences. When I wanted to borrow some money from my son, he said no. Then second time, I will be little hesitant to go to him. I'll expose further sources of raising the money, or it may make me to think, do I really need money? That will link up with my goal. So many times circumstances, saying no on face of it, don't try to say, kal dekhunga, parso dekhunga, that don't give hope. Saying no clearly helps the other party to rearrange, rethought, reimagine his capacities and thought process. Second part of the question is what?
How to handle fear of failure after a serial of failure in life.
So a series of failure has given you a series of lessons the way whenever you are failing. failure of where you are failing. So right mत करो. Power. So it is necessary each failure, analyze yourself again and again, remove, identify positives, and do not make that mistakes. Human, more particularly weaker section, or people who are not committed to their growth, they don't learn from their mistakes, and that is why they are there where they are. Recently, during my recent visit to Australia, my son told me this, a joke. A fellow who comes at 9 o'clock and goes at 5 o'clock every day, he gets the fixed salary with minor increment, and he becomes old. 30 years he was with the company. His salary when he started maybe 20,000 will go to 50,000 or 60,000. But if a young fellow with dynamism can work seriously, he can get the same amount within 2 or 3 years. So fear of failure should not stop. Analyze, remove which made you to give that. Not Einstein, I think Newton. Newton, when inventing a lamp which we use in our house, one of his friends said, you have tried 2,000 items and you have failed, not able to make this lamp. The answer Newton gave, if I'm not wrong, it is Newton. The answer Edison, it may be Edison. He answered, he said, at least I know I cannot make this bulb for 2,000 items which I failed, and I will start to go on 2001. So that is what has helped us to get light in our homes where we are enjoying, and that is why failure, yes. See, we may run short of resources. Resources is a balance out of your existing situation, your survival needs, your family needs. I have gone through all this through my life of 45 years as an entrepreneur, and I have seen around many people living half the way their project because they will have to take care of their families. Thousands and thousands of people I have seen who left good ideas. Somebody has encased that latter. So you take a realistic view of your situation practically every day, every week, and recalibrate your path. Any further question?
Yes, sir. Yes. Mr. Hanmantlu, sir.
Time is getting up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, Mr. Hanmantlu, sir, how to motivate students to become entrepreneurs, become job provided, but not job seeker? And
Hanmantlu sir, thank you. See, my song in the beginning, I do not know whether you heard or not. See, if you want, I will send that personally to you. And that is. Huh?
Hanmantlu sir is raising hand also. He wants to talk to you.
I am not able to see here. Yes. Yes.
It was a very good session, Desai sir.
Sudhakar sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sudhakar sir was.
Sudhakar sir, thank you. Hanmantlu sir, thank you. This thing you are asked a question, sir.
Yeah.
We are in a position to bring the horse to the pond. We cannot make horse to drink. So to create that motivation, we should continuously challenge them with a different scenarios. I generally say, suppose I ask somebody, what speed you run? He says 10 kilometers because he has never tested his capacity. When I say if I put a parking station drop behind you, at what he will run at 20 kilometers. This is the answer we get from them. That means we are not ready to challenge. Status quo is very bad. Challenge challenge continuously where you are. See, that is why we can create thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs. Encourage them in that. I am ready to support that initiative anywhere you want us to come.
Thank you.
I hope I am with you, Sir Hanumanji.
Thank you.
Yeah, good Gayatri, good job done.
Thank you, Sir Sudhakarji.
Yeah.
Shall we end here? Now next week we are going to talk about balance scorecard. And please, that is going to be very interesting concept. Many entrepreneurs today ask the questions on fear of failure more and less on fear of missing out. They should participate if they want to reduce their fear of failure, because that is going to create a new behavioral pattern in you, and that is very interesting session. Please participate in large number. Circulate to your friends who are wanting to be aspiring entrepreneur also. Thank you, everybody.